Hey, so my friend, so I wanted to catch myself in the mood, and from there, go ahead and kind of show and demonstrate the process, the thought patterns that I go through when it comes to getting myself out of that mood. Now, what mood am I talking about? That mood as a single person, where you're really thinking like, hey, it'd be pretty cool not to be single. Yeah, and all those emotions associated with it. So anyway, so what had happened was I was listening to a Christian artist, and one of his songs came up to his girl, right? Super romantic, super like, right? And I'm one of those guys who are like, hey, it's cool to be cool with your emotions, right? And so I was listening to the song, and while I'm working, and just late at night, the mood set, I don't know, right? And, you start feeling this little bit of, emotion, where, at least for me, it's like, man, I would really like to be with someone right now. And so I wanted to catch myself in the act, per se. I know that that's where a lot of us young people are at. And we find ourselves in. So just know, first off, that if you're feeling that way, is normal, it's a-okay. In fact, you're supposed to feel that way. You're supposed to have desires and wants and, to be in a relationship. That's just normal, all right? And so don't beat yourself up about it. Because I know that sometimes you feel like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing the will of God. And, but you are only human, right? And so from there, I was like sitting there just chilling, and then, I'm thinking like, man, dude, and so I turn my phone on to record it. And the thought process that I usually go through is like, okay, that's cool. Okay, that's awesome. But do you remember your purpose? Do you remember the vision? Do you remember what you're committed to? And oftentimes when you're feeling warm, sweet emotions, that cold, hard reality doesn't always feel good, but it's a necessary conversation, else you kind of get, off with and carried away with your emotions. And so I'm sitting here currently, thinking like, okay, well, what's the vision? Well, the vision is to be in the perfect relationship. Your vision doesn't always have to be something that is God-focused or God-orientated, especially when you're trying to remedy remedy emotions that are, that are, romantic, I guess you would say. It doesn't always have to be like, oh God, God this and God that. Take God in the context of your relationship, right? Right now you're single, and in the context of a relationship, look at the vision within the relationship. The vision is to have a strong, healthy, powerful relationship, and with that special someone, right? And so I think about that. I'm like, okay, so the way that's what I'm committed to, and that's the number one thing. Because you can go get with anybody, really, have a relationship here, have a relationship there, but man, it's just I know, when from like knowledge, when the pitfalls if you get with the wrong person, and then if the struggle that's going to happen when you get with the right person, it helps pump the brakes a bit. So it's like, no, I don't want to get with the wrong person, because that's just not smart, right? I didn't come all the way here, 18 not date, let's say 19, 20 not dating, 21 not dating, 22 not dating, 23 not dating, 24 not dating. I didn't come this many years to not see this move through. And then from there, it's like, okay, so now that I think like, okay, well, I didn't come this far just to give up now. The way I think of it is like, everything I do every day that goes by with me staying in the will of God, completing the will of God, pushing forward into the will of God, and not engaging in a relationship, is one more day closer to being in the right relationship, and to, I think of it like a sacrifice now that I can have the reward then. And I think of the person that I want. That's why it's good to have high standards, because if you don't have a high standard for who you want, the person that you want to get with, if it doesn't seem like it's almost out of reach, or if it maybe is out of reach, if it's something that's, oh, it's easy and close, it doesn't give you that motivation to keep pressing through, right? And so I think, like, I have super high standards, and I think of that person, I'm like, okay, seems almost impossible. So because the standard is so high, I'm willing to sacrifice now to, and I think of it like paying into that person that I want to get with every day that I go by, with how'd you say, just staying on track with where God wants me to be, what God wants me to be doing, right? And that's a really great way to think. So because it helps, it definitely does help. And so this is my first rodeo being a single, 24-year-old of marriage age apostolic. And I'm sure that this is everybody's, if you're watching this video, your first time doing this. And if not, I think the same thing applies, right? And so I wanted to kind of catch myself in the thoughts so that I can work on myself, bring out in the forefront of like how would be the best way to navigate those feelings without going into, oh, well, it's not the will of God yet, or you have the things of God to do. It's like, yes, those things are there, but that you have to have something like magnetizing enough in the realm of relationships to keep you going. Okay, so what's the vision of the person that you want? Okay, that's the vision. Okay, that's cool. Every day that I push away and defer my feelings and my wants to get in the relationship is another day in the bank account, per se, another dollar in the bank account to proverbially purchase the person that I want to be with. Does that kind of make sense? I know that's a weird kind of way of thinking about it, but it does help. And what's the alternative? Coming all this way up until 24 and dropping the ball. It's like, nah, I don't think that's the route I want to go. So anyway, just thought I'd share this. I know there's a ton of singles out there that follow Yappa 238, and I wanted to give you guys, this is definitely not the video for like the 16-year-old, 18-year-old, well, maybe not 18, I don't know, 18 maybe, but definitely not like 16, 14-year-old crowd of the Yappa fam. Even though we love you guys, this is like more so the older people stuff. Or maybe you can back pocket it, just put it in your back pocket, because 9 times out of 10 you haven't found the perfect will of God just yet, and if so, you haven't found the timing. And whether you're waiting for the one or the time, it's still that vision, that forward vision of like, okay, what do I want? Okay, that's what I want. That's what I'm gonna go for. And every day I sacrifice and I put into that bank account to, again, purchase the perfect relationship. And it's not gonna be perfect. No one's perfect, but to the best of my ability and whomever she may be, her ability, we want to make sure that we're in the right standings with God. So yeah, sometimes it sucks, but it is what it is. Anyway, so I hope this video was helpful, and yeah, I'll talk with you guys later. God bless. Love you, Yappa fam. Fire starters.